Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and it's another Sunday live stream today. Hope everyone is doing amazing. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. Be sure to call up your dad and wish him a happy Father's Day if you haven't done so already. Anyways, let's get into the live stream because it's been a few days now after the major war headlines on Friday. The dust has begun to settle a bit, but there's still a lot of uncertainty in the air. So we'll be going over the charts in this stream. We'll be talking about the key levels that must be defended, and more importantly, the key levels that have to be reclaimed here to undo the damage that has been done and continue in a bullish trend. All right, so we'll get into everything in this stream. Be sure to stick with me until the very end and smash up the like button right now. And let's get into it like we always do with our crypto market overview. So looking at things as they currently stand, we have had a very sideways, choppy weekend, and Bitcoin is currently trading at 105.6K, and Ethereum is still trading at 2,500. Now, altcoins are really still holding the same levels from last week when we had a sell-off after Elon and Trump got into a little bit of a clash on Twitter. And prices really have not made any new lows. Those lows have been defended. So we'll get into the charts in a moment. Looking at the crypto bubbles top 100, as we can see, we have a lot of green on the day, but really it's mostly choppy sideways action, and a lot of these green numbers are plus 1%, if that. So like I said, very choppy market. Let's get into this Bitcoin chart and talk about that key, or the key levels that need to either get defended or reclaimed here in order for us to be back in business, because we're not necessarily in business at the moment in time, and I'll explain why. First of all, shout out to Lee J. What is up, Lee J? How are you? And we also got Fred James. Not exactly Rick James, but we got Fred James. What's up, Fred? He says, how to do. Connor finally made it in time. Beppe and KeyCat, we'll look at that later on for sure. And we also have FBS. What is up, FBS? And Declan Wyatt. Love to see you guys here in the live chat. Smash up the like. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So the main thing that I'm currently looking at only on the Bitcoin chart is going to be the previous week range. Okay, the previous week range is as followed. We have the previous week high over here at $106,900 approximately. That's exactly that number. 106.9K is the previous week high. And we have the previous week low inside of the weekly fair value gap down here at $100,377, basically 100.4K. So think of it like this. We have 107K that has to be reclaimed. In my opinion, the sooner the better too. Okay. It's really not that far away from the current price. First of all, I want to say as well that the market right now is so split, and it's really, really hard to get a read on it. So I'll admit, I really am not sure which direction this is going to go at all. Okay. It's very tough to read the current price action. There's also the geopolitical events happening. So anybody claiming to be the expert that knows for sure which direction this price is going to go now, they really don't. They're just talking like that because it's very hard to get a read on the current price action. But back to what I was saying, we have the previous week range, right? Range high, range low. It would be really bullish if we just went and reclaimed the previous week high, and we ended up holding above that. Okay. From there, I would say that would likely result in the bottom being in. All right. Very, very key level at $107,000. So we'll see what happens. It's currently Sunday. We have all day until the weekly candle close, and a lot can happen. But as of right now, the most bullish scenario is price simply reclaiming the previous week high at 107K and holding that as support. Here we have the weekly candle, and this is how the weekly candle looks, right? Just a complete Darth Maul candle going crazy in both directions with a very tiny candle body, indicating that indecision we currently have in the market. So yeah, that will close in like 8 hours or so. So there's a long time still until the weekly candle close. Now, if we are not just going to go and reclaim this previous week high level at 107K from here, we should be looking at the previous week low, which is down at, like I said, 100.4K approximately. It would be really good if we ended up going down there and price held this level, right? Just kind of maybe sweep it, take the liquidity, and then start to head back up. We'll see, though, because coming down here does open up the door to more downside, all right? And there's a lot happening right now with the situation. We can take a quick look at some of the things being said. And this was a few days ago, but basically potential full-fledged war. And yesterday, so U.S. intelligence authorities believe it's possible that Iran could launch cyber attacks targeting critical U.S. infrastructure. So more fear, a lot of fear right now. So much fear is in the air. And also, we have Trump coming out today. He says that the U.S. had nothing to do with the attack on Iran. And if they are attacked, if the U.S. is attacked in any way, shape, or form by Iran, the full strength and might of the U.S. armed forces will come down on you at levels never seen before. However, we can easily get a deal done and end the bloody conflict, right? That's what everybody wants. Everyone wants to get the deal done and just end the conflict. It really just depends how long they drag this out. Okay, so if things will escalate further, then yes, that does open up the door for more downside, which is why I just said, like, it's very, very tough to get a read on the current market in the short term here. If we do end up reclaiming the previous week high, I'd say we're pretty bullish and we're likely going to push. However, if we come down to this level, we have to watch closely. Okay, it might get defended. It might not. And if it doesn't get defended, we got some levels lower that we've had on the chart for a long time now that have been waiting to get filled. They go as followed. 98K, there's a very small level here at 98K. There's also this demand. This is a 2-day demand zone at 95,000. Okay, and then just below that, we have the yearly open. And on the CME chart, just above, or just below the yearly open, I should say, just below the yearly open, there's a CME gap at 92,500. So those are the levels to the downside for Bitcoin. And all of those are on the table if we do lose the previous week low at $100,400. Now, of course, we don't just want to take this blindly. We, of course, want to match this up with the majors. And let's start off with USDT dominance. And USDT dominance, of course, is a very, very important chart that we always want to keep an eye on. So as we were discussing during our last live stream on Friday, we had price spike and wick up back to that 4.90% level. Now, as of right now, we have closed above this previous swing high once again at 4.78% from back on the 19th of May. So as of right now, again, pretty wishy-washy, pretty tough to get a read, but we still know that these levels over here, 5%, 5.10%, are some juicy levels that we've been waiting for a long time on USDT dominance. So again, if they're going to escalate this ish, well, then we shouldn't be surprised at all to see this spike up. And this is a really, really good level. And in my opinion, it likely will mark a local bottom for coins. And I'd like to see it reverse from there, up at 5.10%. And just so you're aware, in terms of a percentage move, if we were to make it up there to like 5.1%, that's a 6.5% move, okay? From the current USDT dominance value. Now we want to match this up with other charts. We got the total market cap chart. Again, here's our weekly candles, very indecisive. Look at these things. There's long wicks in both directions. Very undecided market. Now on the daily time frame, quite similar to Bitcoin, we have the previous week high. Right, that would be bullish if price was able to reclaim this. if price is able to reclaim this. And this is at 3.32 trillion. Now, in my opinion, if the bottom isn't in and they're going to nuke this thing one more time, where should we be looking? Well, it's simple in my opinion. We should be looking right at the 2021 previous all-time high. And that's directly at $3 trillion for the total crypto market cap. All right, this is like, this isn't the worst case scenario, but in the short term, I'd say this is like the worst case scenario, where if things aren't bottomed yet, they're probably going to send the total to 3 trillion just here. Also have the daily 200 EMA at 2.97 trillion for added confluence, as well as, of course, that 2021 all-time high. Yeah, 3 trillion. Okay. And also, we can just take a quick measurement and see that, you know, this is around 7.3% away from the current market price of the total. Remember, USDT dominance is around 5% away, or 6.5% away from 5.10%. All right, so those both match up quite well with the total and USDT dominance. Now, the total two, again, there's still this untapped level at 1.08, 1.07 trillion, which also is like 6% lower from the 6.5%, 7% lower than the current market value of the total two at 1.15 trillion. All right, this is still untapped, the 6-day order block. So all of these things have pretty similar decline percentages, all these total liquidity charts. So it would make sense to see these levels get hit. However, maybe all this fear in the air and maybe the headlines from last week was enough, and things will reverse from here. If you're just joining in now, I made it pretty clear when we started the stream that it's very tough to get a read on the market currently. And anybody saying they know exactly what's going to happen next is full of it. Because truthfully, it's like super, super wishy-washy. And yeah, so we're just kind of looking at the main levels we want to be watching right now. And the total two still has the untapped level at 1.07 trillion. And it's a pretty big fair value gap that does go all the way down to like 1.04. So anywhere near the bottom 50% of this fair value gap, if given, is likely a really, really good time to position for, you know, ideally the next leg up to the next supply zone at like 1.4 trillion, which is a pretty juicy gain on the total too, 40%, right? 30%. So that would mean coins are going to pump really hard, right? That's our next target for the total too. So yeah, if we do dip down, I think that's a good time to load up for the next impulsive move that I'm anticipating into supply. Now the total 3-lick we've been talking about has been holding 800 billion. And we like the quarterly open down to the bottom of our green shaded area. So we like this entire gap, kind of a big level here, but this is what I'm using for the total 3, okay? If we're going to make a new low into here, 8-10% potentially, and then ideally start heading back up. Okay, so those are total market cap charts. That's USDT dominance, that's Bitcoin. Here on Bitcoin dominance, we are pushing up still. So we still may be going for 66 to 67% up here, which has still been untapped. And even here, right, even at 65.5, this is all untapped. It never made it up. It got front ran. So still too early to be calling top on Bitcoin dominance. Remember the key pivot, the key swing on Bitcoin dominance. It's going to be down here at 63.17, 0.18%. And we need a weekly candle close below the key swing in order to call top on Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion. And we don't have that at all. Okay, we have price looking like it wants to go and, you know, tag 66%. So we'll continue to monitor this chart. But as of right now, Bitcoin dominance does not appear to be topped out. And we have no confirmation that it is. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that situation. Real quick, let's look at others' dominance. So others' dominance is, of course, the percentage of capital outside of the top 10 in crypto. and it's making new lows. We're at 7.4% for others' dominance. Yeah, 7.4%. The highs of this cycle was at around 13 to 14%. So we're down 50% from March 2024 in terms of altcoin market cap. 46% we're down. It's been a brutal time to be, an altcoin holder, basically. I've said it before, right? But basically the market has forced everyone to adapt and to learn how to trade. Otherwise, you're just stuck holding bags. Doesn't matter how bullish the project is. It doesn't matter who the team is. It doesn't matter if they're the world's greatest founders ever. For the most part, every single altcoin has been getting smoked. Even if it did go on an epic run up, they all go down 99% afterwards. But anyways, here is the total, or the others dominance. And I am looking at the 2-week, just all of this down here, basically. We're coming into this really large level, right? We can also potentially call this is monthly demand as well. So these levels here for others dominance, if it's going to keep sinking, I don't necessarily seeing it breaking through this higher time frame demand zone at like 6% before like a prolonged bear market, right? I think we likely see a pump first, and then this will break in the bear market. But as of right now, others dominance does not appear to be looking to push just yet. There are signs that it wants to push, such as weekly bullish divergence. We also have a nice sliding bottom. Some people might like to call this a triple drive. Depends on how you look at it, but it's definitely there, right? So yeah, there is the bullish div. We're in like a monthly time frame demand zone for others dominance. So some hopium right now, because everything is looking bleak otherwise, unless Bitcoin can quickly reclaim 107K, like we talked about earlier in the stream, right? We're just looking at the previous week range right now, and we need Bitcoin to reclaim the previous week high in order to push. The previous week high right now is at 106,800, basically 107K. We need price to reclaim this quickly if we're going to be bullish here to start the week. So we just looked at others dominance. Let's look at others itself. Here we are. Okay, so the others chart has been hanging out in this key level. You guys remember this key level that got hit all the way back here at the end of May? Like 240 billion, 235 billion. Well, it's still in there. It is still in the level. So we currently have equal bottom with bullish div. We're still above the quarterly open at 220 billion, 218 billion. And we still haven't necessarily retested any of the lows from the bottom in April. So this is others. And as of right now, in my opinion, if we were to see a move down into this demand level at around 207 billion to 193 billion, and that would likely match up with the total going down to 3 trillion, with USDT dominance going up to 5.10%, right? All the total charts we've already gone through, went over, right? We're looking for others to basically come back into demand near 200 billion, right? If it wants to sweep the low from the end of May, April 7th, that would be quite insane. But yeah, as of right now, we're looking for around 200 billion on this chart. And that is in terms of percentage, we're looking at 14 to 19%. which makes sense. It's like 3x the value of the total going down to its key level. And because this is the shitcoin index, the others chart, it's going to be a larger percentage drop. So all that makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys as well. And that is our current situation. Now that we've gone through our market briefing and we have a pretty good indication of things that may play out here, and we have our bearing straight, we can get into some altcoins. It's the real fun stuff. So we'll do that now. Let me go ahead and check up with the live chat and see how everyone is doing today. So like I said, shout out to Declan Wyatt saying to smash the like button. Messini says, hello, I think you called Arrow. Oh, I did call Arrow at 52 cents. You are correct, sir. And it's currently at 73% or 73 cents. And this was a gain of 45%. So shout out to everyone that ate from the aerodrome analysis we've done here on streams. But, you know, I put in some work with Arrow. And I also made, I'll pull it up right now. I also made a full aerodrome video 2 weeks ago before price dropped into my level. So yeah, you know, Arrow pumped hard and it's kind of defying the stage right now. And this is all because of the base DeFi integration into the Coinbase application. So yeah, sometimes particular narratives are going to pump. And right now that's Arrow. I definitely would not be chasing it because it's at resistance, okay? At a time where the market is looking pretty, it's just so wishy-washy. Really hard to say if we're going to pump or if we've bottomed, are we going to dump more? In my opinion, anything can really happen. So anyways, Arrow's at resistance. The time to buy anything is always when you don't want to buy it. And that's always when price is in a key level, okay? So Aerodrome down here at like 50 cents, 51 cents. In this video I made, right, we outlined that level when price was still like up here at like 67 cents. When price dropped into the level, there was negative news out there. It was scary, a lot of negativity. I forget what the headline was at the time, but there was something out there to make people scared and hesitant to pull the trigger on the buys. And then what happens, right? It pumps 45%. So always, like now, if you have FOMO after the pump, you did it wrong, okay? You want to have FOMO when it's so scary, when you don't want to buy, when it's hard to buy. That's always the time to pull the trigger. Because if you don't, you're just going to continue to lose, basically. You're going to buy it. You're going to buy at resistance. You're going to suffer drawdown. And unless you can start to change your mindset and start to pick things up when they're in value areas, when it's scary, I'd say you're going to have a pretty tough time in this crypto market because it's designed to manipulate your emotions. So if you cannot see through that matrix and act at the times when they're trying to manipulate you to not act, good luck. Anyways, also Aerodrome, Treble Swap, both looking pretty good right now. Absolutely love to see it. Let's take a look here. Treb still trading at 48.49 cents, which is pretty epic, right? Still a really low market cap, but up well over 2x from the bottom. And some really bullish stuff happening. And, of course, integrated now with the whole entire base DeFi narrative heating up. Things are looking pretty bullish for Treble Swap, so keep an eye on that one. Let's see what else is going on here in the live chat. We got Capitalist Nomad. I'll tell you where it's going up. I respect the bullishness. I certainly respect the bullishness, and I certainly can understand. We'll see. First order of business, reclaim 107K. You know, if that happens, very likely that the damage has been done and we can push up. And it's not far away at all from 107K. So we'll keep an eye on this throughout this fine Sunday as well as Father's Day. We got Raja in the buildings. He says salute from Bangkok. Thank you, Raja. And don't get into too much trouble over there, my man. We also got All Day Dre in the building. What is up, Dre? He's hype. He says, let's go with the fire flames emoji. Love the energy. Everyone smash up the like button. We got Chad Anderson. What's up, Chad? Crypto Connor, baby. Happy Father's Day, y'all. Yes, sir. Good to see you, Crypto, or Chad Anderson. And Adrian Kent with the 2 thumbs up. All right, so let's get into some coins. We had Fred James ask about base meme coins. So base meme coins, particularly KeyCat. So KeyCat is trading in this downtrend at the moment. In reality, on the higher time frames, it's just a massive range. It's oscillating in this big range. And as of right now, we are coming down into the range lows for Keyboard Cat. Right, we're coming back down into our range lows. So the value area is already marked out on the chart. The value area begins at a $29 million market cap, and it goes down to about a $12 million market cap. That's the value area. Like I was just saying for Arrow, right? It's best to wait until price is in the value area. So if you want to, go in now, that's totally up to you. Kind of looks bullish. Kind of does. And let's look at the line. Are we in the golden pocket? I think that's a pretty important thing. So let's find out. We are below the golden pocket. And we're at the 786. I still would wait for the value area, like 30 million market cap. And then Bepe's been a stable coin at like 1 million market cap. Nothing to really say here. I mean, look at the chart. Right? I'd say, like, if this thing was done, it would probably be made, it would have made new lows at this point. So the lows are at like 450K market cap. It hasn't necessarily, gone down and held there. It has on crashes, but it gets bought back up. So, there's still a chance that Bepe does run into the future, and it's just sideways, completely sideways, range bound, low volume. Right, look at the volume today, 1.3K. It's like no one's really trading this thing. They're either holding it or that's it, kind of. So, yeah, that's those two. Thank you for the support, Fred James. And what else is going on here? Cardano is looking attractive, somebody says. Well, it's been hanging out in the buy zone for a long time now, okay? I'll tell you that. Here's Cardano. Here's the buy zone. It's like it's weekly demand essentially. And price has been holding it very well. Now we have a lot of touches. We have a lot of touches of this support at this moment in time. Just so many altcoins are doing this. So many altcoins are at these key pivot points, these key supports, and they've all been touching them, weakening. So either we hold here or it's going to get kind of ugly, boys. Right? Very strong, obvious bullish div, right, with price making this double bottom. So it looks bullish. I mean, it's in the buy zone, bullish divergence. Price swept the previous week low. This does look more bullish than bearish at the current moment in time. It does actually look pretty attractive. Use a stop loss, of course, because if this thing doesn't hold, it's going to get pretty ugly, because this is like, look at the chart. There's really like nothing below. It's thin air below this kind of. So yeah, either it holds or it's going to get ugly. TAO is a pretty similar situation. TAO, right? Same thing as Cardano in the sense where it keeps on coming into this higher time frame demand level. On TAO, this is specifically at around $352 down to about $340. And price continues to come into demand. And it's holding, okay? But just like a support level, the more times it gets tested, the weaker it gets, right? And also for TAO, I want to show you basically that we are basically trading in, we're trading in this range at the moment. And we can call the range, this is a messy chart. Let's get a clean chart up here. Too much noise on this particular one. Let's see the BitGet chart. All right, this will work. So the range high is right up there at like 472, where I already have a line. And the range low is pretty close to my other line at 367 here. Basically, yeah, this is like the range low, right? So let me switch this up. I want a full line. Okay. And I'm going to make sure we have the same color line so that nobody's confused. This is good. Okay, so we're basically trading in this range on TAO. Right, this is our current range we're in. Right? Now we can see essentially that every time price has been in this range in the past, here, as well as here, both times the same thing has happened. Okay, both times have been after a parabolic run-up, where when price was increasing, it completely disregarded this range. It just sliced through it like butter. But on the way down, you can see that price used the range, and it played ping pong from range high to range low, range high, range low. Same thing over here. Range low, range high, range low, range high again, nuke. Makes me a little bit weary, okay, because we're in the same exact situation, and this time we're on the run up. And remember, like I said, every time in the past that price has gone through this range, it has just, on the way up, I should say, it's just sliced through it like a hot knife through butter. Okay, it didn't care about any resistance. It just pumped. And then on the way down, it likes to use the range. Here we have on the way up, we're spending a lot of time in this range, okay? So yes, we're at the range lows. We are at the range lows. Right, these are our range lows. We're in also a demand zone. If we go back to the other chart, you'll see the demand zone. It's not here in this chart. But yeah, I'm a little bit weary, right? Because look, this support level has gotten hit so many times at this point. And we also have this 3-day demand zone that's also clearly labeled on the other chart down here near the quarterly open at like $220. So if the range low doesn't hold, just like I was saying on Cardano, it's going to get ugly. Same thing on TAO, right? We could very, very well likely see a move down into this 3-day demand level at like 240. It's very possible, and the quarterly open at 220. Okay. Go back to the other chart now. Believe it is this. It is this one. There's a lot of noise going on. So yeah, basically, we either hold this range low right here in the bottoms in, or we're going to spill pretty hard. Connor, you're saying upper, it can go up or it can go down. Just tell me which way it will go now. Yeah, obviously, because it very well can go up or down right now. I understand the complexity of the situation, and I'm just telling you the levels so that you will know how to trade whichever situation happens, okay? So let's keep a watchful eye on TAO as we start the week. We know the level to look for lower, 240, 220. And if this level doesn't hold, yeah, we're going down there. And of course, we want to line that up with all of the total charts that we went over at the beginning of the live stream, so that you guys will have the added confluence to trade with confidence. Speaking of trading with confidence, guys, I'm starting something brand new, something I've never done before. Okay? So what I'm doing is I have essentially created a new Telegram group. It's called the Empire Trading Floor. Now, this group will be available only to my Crypto Empire Mastermind members, as well as people, if you want to sign up to Blofin with my affiliate link, using the link down in the description below. Currently, Blofin's running a pretty epic campaign. All right, you can see with this deposit bonus, it will end on June 26th, around 11 days from now, right? You can get some pretty juicy bonuses, especially if you're a whale and you want to deposit over $10,000, right? If you deposit 10K, you can get a $500 bonus. If you deposit 20K, you can get a $1,000 bonus. If you don't have that much, even if you only have 500 bucks, if you sign up with my link and put in 500, you'll get a $25 bonus. It's all right here. But guys, sign up to Blofin in my link down below. And then also just below the Blofin link, you'll see the Telegram link. It will link you to a Telegram bot. The bot will ask you your Blofin user ID. You need to deposit at least $200 into your Blofin account to get access, okay? So if you're not in the Crypto Empire Mastermind and you want to get more regular market updates from me, this is how you do it. You need to sign up with my Blofin affiliate link and go through the process on Telegram using my trading bot, or using the Telegram bot to get you access to this server. This is brand new. I've never really done this before, but I can see that you guys really enjoy my TA. So if you want to get it more consistently and you're not in the mastermind, do this. And if you are in the mastermind, you'll obviously have access to it. So anyways, that's new and that's exciting, guys. Sign up to Blofin using my link down in the description below and get yourself some of these juicy deposit bonuses. Doesn't really cost you anything, right? So I want to open this up for everyone in case they want some more access into Crypto Empire. Shout out to Dan Griffiths. Good to see you, Dan. And we got Bert. Bert says, I see European governments are looking to ban privacy coins by 2027. This makes me very bullish for all the governments want to ban privacy coins because they all want to launch central bank digital currencies. So yeah, that's definitely in the plan. Georgios, he says, smash the like, guys. This man is doing a service. Just long soul at the bottom. Thoughts? So Georgios, thanks for your support, my man. And quick look at Sol. So if you longed over here on the sweep of the or at the daily open at around 144, I'd say you're in great shape right now, and just manage the trade, right? Just manage the trade. So that would mean at this point in time, likely realizing like 25% and moving the stop to break even, being that you're already up now, what, 5%, right? So just manage the trade, I would say, Georgios. You had a great entry down here, and just don't let it turn into a loss, basically, right? That's your job as the trader. Just don't lose money, okay? You have a winning trade right now. Just manage it properly. Pay yourself. Don't be greedy with it. And then there's going to be another trade maybe in 15 minutes, maybe in 4 hours, maybe tomorrow. But there is always another trade. So never get fixated or attached to one, because there's always another one, okay? That's why you should just pay yourself routinely, take profits, move your stop up, and yeah. But nice one. Good entry. Ooh, let's see. We got a pretty poppin' live chat today, guys. We got a lot going on and a lot of comments to get through here, as well as a lot of coins to look at. So here's what I want to do. If you guys are asking me about some obscure random meme coin, I'm probably not going to look at it. Look, I want to get through the good stuff here, right? So some of these meme coins have $1,000 of volume. It's not really worth like looking at it. But if you ask me about some altcoin that we can actually chart and has volume, yeah, we'll definitely look at it, okay? So just want to keep it entertaining for everyone here. Let's see. Anvara, he says, I'm buying Bitcoin next week, so I say we rip. Oil is about to spike, so I'd say assets will follow. Every time I buy Bitcoin, we rip. So we have a personal anecdote here from Anvara saying that Bitcoin's going to pump because he's buying. Love it. And we got Cryptomaniac925. What is up, Cryptomaniac? Lee J says, is there a chance with all the longs cleared out that the market could suddenly send to the upside? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we started off the live stream talking about that exact scenario. The bullish scenario is very clear from here. Okay. The bullish scenario is Bitcoin reclaiming the previous week high at 107K. And essentially at that point going for new highs. All right. Next high I'm looking for is 115K. But yeah, absolutely. Right. A lot of longs flushed out. We had $1 billion of long liquidations on Friday. Every long basically got flushed out for the most part. So from here, again, we need to reclaim this previous week high. We're in this range, and we have to clear the range high. Every time we've left this range, as you can see, we've basically just got a manipulation move to get people super bullish right into higher time frame supply, and then we just nuke back into the range. So for Bitcoin, at this point in time, we need to clear the range high at 107 and push above this higher time frame supply level. That is the bullish scenario. It's pretty clear. It can definitely happen. I would really prefer to see that happen. I would prefer this bullish scenario to play out. We got Fiendsta. Fiendsta says, yo, Connor, love you, bro. Thanks for the support, brother. Appreciate it. And we got Retribution Tales in the building asking about Bonk coin. Is there upside for Bonk? So for the most part, I think Solana is pretty cooked. Especially Solana ecosystem things, coins. Now, is there upside for Bonk? Yes, right? In the world where we see the total 2, pump up, maybe we even hit our bull target or macro target at 2.5 trillion. I'd say, yeah, there's upside for Bonk. Just depends on how much upside, right? Currently in the golden pocket, we do have weekly demand at the 78.6, and the 88.6 lines up with the quarterly open in another weekly demand level. So yeah, logical place here. Interesting. So Bonk's basically back in its original value area from 2024, 2023. Right, this is Bonk's original value area. Okay, this accumulation. And price is back in that. Just taking the whole thing from high to low. Right, this is Bonk's original value area. It's back in it now. Okay, so there's likely upside for Bonk from this value area. Right, especially price just crashed. It's down like 50% from the highs in May. 40%. So yeah, this is the value area for it. It can go deeper into value, but I think there's money to be made from buying in this original value area from 2023 for Bonk. Some pretty simple higher time frame analysis, but at the current moment in time, I think that's appropriate. And so a lot of altcoin charts have these double bottoms with strong bullish divergence. The other one was ADA we were looking at, right? Yep. ADA, same thing, right? Double bottom. Price sweeps the previous week low. Strong bullish divergence. basically, if these fail, we are like risk off. Basically, like these should play out and pump. They should, right? If we're in a risk on market, bullish market, we have prices in these levels with, you know, sweeping the previous week low, bullish divergence. Like, there's a lot of reasons to see these things pump out of this at the current moment in time. Every chart we look at has glaringly obvious bullish div. Not all of them have swept that previous week low. FET is interesting because FET really pushed lower. Axie is another one with the same setup as Cardano, as well as what we were just looking at, Bonk. So these kind of more obscure coins all are showing very valid reasons to be bullish. It's all clear as day to me. Here's the thing though, right? These are individual altcoins. If you long or short an individual altcoin without looking at the totals, you're really not going to have a great time. Your trade setups are probably going to often fail if you're not keeping a close tab on the totals and using it as confluence. Okay, so yeah, these individual altcoins, they do look great. But the thing is that it really all depends on Bitcoin and USDT dominance primarily, and then the totals. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. There's very valid reasons. The only actually valid reason to be bearish is you're expecting like new negative news to come out about the situation between Iran and Israel. And by the way, do yourself a favor and look up how Iran has huge deposits of rare earth minerals used to develop and manufacture the artificial intelligence industry. And then also look up how Ukraine has rare earth minerals, and the U.S. signed a deal with Ukraine to get access to those minerals. This is all over the rare earth minerals. This is a war for AI, okay? So everything you're seeing, oh, it's between these two countries, it's all about the rare earth minerals and for AI, okay? That will come out in the future, but of course, as of right now, the media needs to make people divided and make everything seem like it's not just a war for minerals in the earth. That's what it always is, right? In the 90s, 2000s, it was over oil. Now it's over rare earth minerals to build AI. Welcome to the modern world. Welcome to the real world. Not everything is as it does appear. But yeah, anyways, back to the market. So your individual altcoins are looking pretty good right now. It just really depends on what these total charts want to do. And I'm not here to be the hero and yell at the top of my lungs screaming bottom. I'm just here to deliver you guys the scenarios and the levels to play off. We got Dan Griffiths with an interesting question. It says, what alt are you most bullish on at this point? Just like to see how you're thinking, bro. So I have spot positions. I got big spot positions in coins like TAO. Cubic as well still. I'm bullish on AI, okay? I'm very bullish on AI in general. Like I just told you how the war is about AI. Obviously, I'm long AI hard, okay? And I got no problem waiting until 2030. Even though obviously I'll be in and out on the way up, but you understand. Hopefully you understand the larger thesis at play. They're starting major world wars because of rare earth minerals for AI. They're not telling you that on TV, okay? Obviously, but yeah, so AI, I'm very bullish on it. Cubic is back at the range highs, looking to break from this bull flag. But yeah, we'll start there, Dan, before we open up a whole can of worms. Let's see. We got Y Russ. Y Russ says he thinks it's over for altcoins. No, I think you'll see a time where you'll be able to sell your altcoins at least at break even, ideally in a profit, hopefully in a large profit. All right, this year. We got Crypto Mike. What's up, Crypto Mike? He says, late but present. Thanks, Connor, for what you do. Best channel on YouTube. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the support. And we got Topi Wales saying, hey, Connor, SPX refusing to come test Monday low and holding 40 cents to 44 cents. Are you talking about the S&P 500 or this SPX? I think you're talking about this one, right? The meme coin. So yeah, it is refusing to come and test Monday's low. And it looks like we mapped that out on the stream earlier in the week. So yeah, I mean, what it's doing is, so this was the scenario I was looking at for like Bitcoin this week actually, and it failed. I was looking for the Monday mid-range to end up holding as support. But yeah, that, like I said, that failed. I was looking for this on like Bitcoin and ETH. If you guys recall the stream from earlier last week, that was what I was looking for. Coincidentally enough, Bitcoin and ETH didn't hold, but of course, SPX 6900 did that exact scenario, okay? It ended up holding the Monday mid-range. So yeah, I mean, that came from experience, right? Me saying that. And it didn't happen, but it did happen on this coin. So yeah, Topi, as of right now, it's essentially in the middle of a range. And I don't really like to trade from the middle of the range. It's all inside of this massive 12-hour candle. Absolutely massive 12-hour candle. Going to be interesting because I think if the market's going to send, then this is likely going to send up out of this, right? Probably going to use this entire 12-hour candle as like a breaker and fill orders in there and send. On the flip side, right? If Bitcoin ends up spoiling the party again, we could be coming back down to demand. And demand really doesn't start on the daily time frame until like $1.15 over here. Okay. So that's my current read on SPX 6900, Topi. I hope that helps. Let's see, we got Dre. He says, I won't lie, it took me a long time to learn that you must buy when it feels very uncomfortable. Yeah, so it directly contradicts human psychology and the way that humans are wired, which is why it's so tough and so easy for the elites and the market makers to manipulate the market to get us emotional. It's really just exploiting human psychology is what it is. It's dark, it's Machiavellian, it's evil, but hey, when we have a $1 trillion industry, trillions of dollars floating around in the financial markets, you can guess that the big boys at the top that pull the strings are going to be pretty damn evil. Okay? Welcome to the real world. But yeah, Dre, absolutely, man. And that wasn't obviously to you, that was to the entire audience. And Chad says, don't ever get shook out, y'all. Hold your money on the side, and when the bad news comes, everyone sells. Buy. Yes, sir. Y Russ, Arrow, and Morpho. So we already looked at Aerodrome. Morpho is a big lending and borrowing protocol on the Base network. Previously, there was Moonwell. There still is Moonwell. And now Morpho is here. This is the Morpho chart. It's a long base. Long accumulation here. Basically with Yeah, it's holding the 50%. Look at that. From the eyeball view, I don't even have to pull the fib. I just know it's right at that 50, or it was holding the 50, right? Keeps on bouncing off that 50% fib. As of right now, this demand still looks good if it comes back into it. But yeah, Morpho. I mean, what happened to Moonwell? I mean, it seems like the Coinbase people are just launching as many lending and borrowing protocols as possible to just get retail to buy into this. Like, how many lending and borrowing protocols do you need, right? Anyways, Moonwell is a little different looking chart. Currently sweeping these lows. Could be a PO3 little fake out here. This could be the little manipulation move before a send. Or this thing's coming to the quarterly and it's going to drop to 2 cents again. It's like, we talked about it already. Like, look how many times it's tested this support. Okay, tested over here, tested here, tested here. Same thing as TAO, same thing as ADA, same thing as basically every other altcoin we've looked at. They've all been touching support. So if Bitcoin doesn't, wake up with a hard on today and really bust one through with a huge green candle, we're not looking great on these alts. We'll see though. Chad Anderson, he says treble at $50 in under a year. Chad, your name is Chad for a reason, man. That's a real Chad thing to say, and I'm here for it. It's really actually not that like far-fetched and unattainable. For example, if treble was to reach $5, it would be around a $26 million market cap, which is extremely tiny in the crypto world. 26 million. You got some bullshit meme coins trading higher. And then a 10x from there would be 260 million. Like, that is very possible. Like, it's not out of out of this world for that to happen. But I don't want to be too moon mathy here. I want to stay somewhat grounded. And you guys need to make your own decision on what you think it can or can't do. Am I bullish on it? Yes, absolutely. Can it go to a $260 million market cap? Absolutely. Will it happen? Hard to say for sure. That's it. Anyways, let me get through these comments and see if we have any gems in here from any of the awesome people that watch this stream on a continued basis. We have a lot of really educated people, a lot of great traders that are here. And I want to see what's going on. So I'm just going to see what's up with this live chat and see if anybody has any gems they've dropped so far. Shout out to Sam Fox. He says, smash the like button for Crypto Empire, the best crypto analysis channel. So Fred James says, Blofin is not available to New York users. So guys, Blofin, the reason I'm doing this with Blofin is because it's no KYC. All right, Blofin is no KYC, but you still need to use a VPN. All right, everything crypto always use a VPN. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So it's available for New Yorkers, but you need to have a VPN turned on to a jurisdiction that's not restricted. So yeah, that's the situation with Blofin. And again, the link, let me show you here. Here we are. And so this link, okay, it's not an actual link, but you're going to have to paste this into Telegram. It says, after signing up to Blofin and depositing at least 200, join my crypto trading Telegram. Okay, this one is what you want to plug into the Telegram, and then you can get access to the new group if you're interested in that. No worries, Fred. Steve says the bottom was on June 15th, 2017, 15th of June, 2021. Then the altcoin skyrocketed. Now today's the 15th of June, 2025. Bottom should be in. Bottom should be in. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we got some obscure gem comments of some Something that I've never even thought of before. Shout out to Steve. We're going to investigate this right now and see if Steve has something to talk about here. Okay, we got some interesting takes. So he says 2017, 2021, and 2025 now. Let's see if this guy is correct. We'll use the daily chart. I'm going to use the total 2, which is the altcoin chart, because there's, people really only care about altcoins watching this thing, right? Let's investigate this further. All right, so the 15th of June, it looks like we have some validation for Steve's thesis. As we can see here on the 15th of June, we didn't exactly bottom on this day, but we did sell off in 2017, the 15th of June. Price rebounded, made a new all-time high, rejected. It went down basically like 50, what is this, 50%, 60%, 56%, and then it skyrocketed, okay? So the 15th of June didn't mark the exact, maybe we can check the total. Maybe the total has a different read. Whoopsie daisy. We're trying to go through years here, so I'm a little antsy with my my scrolling, but here we go. Is there a different read here on the total market cap? April, May, June 15th. Yeah, so basically we bottomed on the 16th of June in 2017 on the total market cap. So pretty damn close to the bottom. Yeah, that's a valid take there by Steve. The first part of his thesis is correct. Let's check out 2021, the 15th of June of 2021, see what happened there. Going through the years now. March, June 15th, 2021, then altcoins skyrocketed. Okay, so the bottom did not come on the 15th on the total. Here is June 15th. This is June 15th, this candle. So basically it was close. The bottom happened exactly 1 week later. And the same kind of thing on 2017. It happened like 3 days later. Where's my date measurement? So here we have the 15th of June to the bottom. It was exactly 7 days. Okay. And the total 2, just to confirm. Let's head back to 2021 here. And let's find the 15th of June. Steve, I bet you didn't expect me to verify your claim live on stream, did you now? All right, so a little different, right? The same thing, though, actually. It bottomed a week later after the 15th. Exactly 1 week. Not necessarily like the perfect sample, but it tells us, yeah, around this time, maybe we have another push lower, but yeah, we're pretty close to something happening. Okay. Not necessarily the most accurate like sample size and things like that, but still something to look at from a similar time in previous years. Yeah. But that's the situation. Maybe we go down again in 2-3 days. Maybe it's like 2021 and we bottom within a week. And then we pump. Because that would be more similar to 2017 and 2021. Not bottom on the 15th, bottom a few days to a week after the 15th, and then skyrocket. I like that more. Looking at what we just looked at, that's what happened both times in the previous 4-year cycles at this exact point in time. Anyway, Steve, great comment, man. Thanks for sharing that and allowing me to look into it. Shout out to Manny Adachi. He says, pay your tuition by pressing the like button. Yes, sir. Smash it up, guys. We got James Brasco. What is up, James Brasco? He says, Moonwell, and do you think Arrow is going to stop to retest the high 50s? Largely depends on the totals at this point in time, James. I did look at both of those earlier. So if you joined in a bit late, definitely be sure to catch the replay. So we have a question from Glaucus SR5. He asked why a perpetual futures market can pump a coin out of nowhere more than the spot market. Look into what CZ tweeted about dark pool dexes the other week. Basically, on centralized exchanges, perpetual futures, you can utilize a dark pool, which is an order book that is not seen by the public, and you can really pump or dump coins like that. All right. So it allows for much more kind of manipulative play. But look at CZ's Twitter account and look at what he tweeted about dark pool dexes, and that will answer your question. Kita, good tech. I actually saw somebody looked into the tech and it was really not impressive, but they're just using market makers to pump it. So a lot of people saying they can't get Blofin. Guys, you got to use a VPN if you want to use it. Fox buy zone for Cardano. We already talked about Cardano. It's in the buy zone. It's in the buy zone right now. If not, you know, we're looking at like 50, 55 cents. And then Sui. Another one. Same thing. Double bottom. Sweep the previous week low. Bullish div. Quarterly. That's a fat dip. Let's check this. Yeah, this is what I'm seeing on Sui. This little thing on the 23 hour. Is that like $2.60 for Sui? A little hidden level there, 12% lower than the current market price. But yeah, guys, look, we covered a lot this stream. Hey, shout out to Stacy Lewis just joining late. Let's see, Drace. So Fred, what did I say? Some confusion about something I said, I guess. What did I mean by Solana being cooked? I never got to this piece of news. Why is Solana cooked? Well, it's been exploited to the maximum degree. This was an interesting tweet. This guy here, not even worth mentioning his name, posted this screenshot yesterday saying, I finally crossed over $1 million realized profit on the main wallet. I owe all my success to my unrelenting optimism, unwavering faith in myself and God. The reason I laugh is because it's funny that this guy brings up God in this sentence. Why is that? Median hold time, 45 seconds. Realized profit, $1 million. And that's 26% ROI. So they deposited $4 million into this. The only way you can make money with a 45-second hold time is if you have a bunch of gullible people that buy after you and you immediately dump on their head. This is what the entire Solana blockchain has turned into. And this is what I mean by the fact that Solana is cooked. This doesn't really happen on other chains to the extent that it happens on Solana. Solana is the breeding ground for the worst of the worst people in the crypto industry. There's probably going to be some critics out there saying, Connor, you're just jealous. You didn't make $1 million trading Solana meme coins. I have a moral compass, basically. I'm not going to just tweet out a coin. A bunch of people that follow me go and buy it. I literally sell 45 seconds after, and I take that exact liquidity that the people were just following me put in, Anytime you see some loser doing a pump fund Solana live stream, trading Solana coins live, it's all bullshit. It's straight up bullshit. And again, to anyone who thinks I'm being a hater, look into the reality of the situation. And this is the exact reality of the situation. So it's a joke that this guy brings up God. It's an absolute joke. Okay, the way that he's going about things, it's obviously bullshit. And this guy said the average hold time of an elite Solana trader is 45 seconds. If your average hold time is 45 seconds, that's literally direct proof that you use your followers, copy trading people as just straight up exit liquidity. They put in liquidity, you sell. It's just straight up bullshit, man. So that's what I mean by Solana is cooked. Okay? Hopefully that's pretty clear. On that note, guys, follow me on X. Okay, as you can see, I'm trying to get this gold check. They don't want to give me the gold check for some reason. It looks like I'm going to have to settle for a blue one unless they do something soon. So yeah, that's why I'm not verified right now. But follow me on X and subscribe to me on YouTube. Check out Blofin. Follow the process to get in the new group. Available for everyone. Or you don't have to be in the Mastermind. If you want more of my TA, that's where to get it. But you have to use my Blofin link. Other than that, we'll see what happens as we start this new week. We'll see what happens as we start the new week. Remember, our bull case is Bitcoin reclaiming the previous week high at 107K. If that doesn't happen, well then we have the lower levels we talked about. And the range low is at 100.4K, this low here. Okay, so we really would like to see for all the bulls out there, we got to reclaim 107. If that doesn't happen, we ain't going to push yet, all right? So we went over a ton in this live stream, guys. We talked about the key levels. We talked about altcoins. We talked about a lot of different things. It's Father's Day, so I'm going to leave it at that for right now, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Smash up the like button. I'll see you all soon. Have a great rest of your weekend. This is Connor from Crypto Empire signing out. I'll see you in the next one. Stay